The lion does not turn his head when the small dog barks. He knows his power lies in his stillness, not his noise. Seneca. What no one admits is that your words are the very chains that bind you. You have been lied to. From the moment you entered the social hierarchy, you were taught that communication is the key, that clarity is kindness, and that to be understood is to be loved. A beautiful lie, a comforting fiction designed to keep the sheep bleating in the pasture so the wolves know exactly where to find them. The brutal truth they hide from you is that silence is the only true currency of power. Think of the kings of old. Think of the emperor on his throne. Does he chatter? Does he explain his motives to the court? Does he apologize for his decisions? No. The king sits in absolute, terrifying stillness. It is the jester who talks. It is the servant who rushes to fill the void with noise, desperate to prove his utility, desperate to be seen, desperate to be validated. The king speaks only when necessary, and because his words are rare, they are treated like gold. The jester speaks incessantly, and his words are treated like dust. Ask yourself, which one are you? In the modern dating dynamic, men have been conditioned to become the jester. You believe that if you talk enough, if you explain your feelings enough, if you just send one more text to clarify your intentions, she will finally see your worth. You are vomiting information. You are projecting your insecurities onto a billboard and begging her to read it. And every time you open your mouth to fill an awkward silence, you are signaling loud and clear that you are uncomfortable with yourself. You are signaling that the void terrifies you. But for the dark strategist, for the man who understands the abyss, silence is not empty. Silence is a canvas. When you remain silent, you cease to be a predictable set of data points. You become a Rorschach test. You become a mirror. And what does she see in that mirror? She sees her own desires, her own fears, and her own obsession. She projects her fantasy onto you because you have not given her enough reality to contradict it. This is the forbidden secret for the sensitive man who has been told to open up. The more you close your mouth, the more she opens her mind to you. By removing your presence, you increase your weight. It is a paradox of physics that applies directly to the emotional axis of human interaction. History remembers the silent conquerors. The Stoics understood this. The Spartans understood this. They knew that words are merely the exhaust fumes of intent. Real power is the engine that hums quietly beneath the hood. Today, we are going to strip away your need for validation. We are going to teach you how to wield the weapon of strategic silence. We are going to turn you into the void that she cannot help but stare into. Let us look at the common man, the nice guy, the provider, the man who believes that logic dictates attraction. He meets a woman, he feels a spark, and immediately his biological programming, hijacked by societal conditioning, begins to scream, "Secure the asset, don't let her go, make sure she likes you." So what does he do? He initiates the data dump. You know this man. You have been this man. He goes on a date. There is a lull in the conversation, a natural pause, a moment where two human beings could simply exist in the shared space of the present moment. But to him, that silence is a siren of emergency. Panic sets in. His cortisol spikes. He thinks, "She's bored. She hates me. I need to say something funny. I need to tell her about my job. I need to ask her about her cat." So he babbles. He nervously laughs. He overshares traumatic childhood stories on the first date just to bridge the gap. He effectively hands her the blueprint to his entire psyche within 45 minutes. He leaves no stone unturned, no mystery unsolved. He is an open book, written in large font with pictures. And then the date ends. Now begins the digital suicide. He texts her, "I had a great time. Hope you did too." She doesn't reply for 2 hours. She is busy. Or maybe she is testing him. Or maybe she is just living her life. But what does the weak man do? He stares at the screen. The silence from her end feels like physical pain. It triggers his abandonment wounds. He projects rejection into the void. So he texts again. "Just wanted to make sure you got home safe." Still nothing. Now the anxiety turns into desperation. "Did I say something wrong? Let me know." It is pathetic. It is visceral, biological repulsion. Understand this: the female psyche evolved over millions of years to select the most competent, secure, and formidable mate, has a built-in weakness detector. When a man cannot handle silence, when he rushes to fill the gap, he is demonstrating a lack of internal resources. He is demonstrating that he needs external feedback to regulate his own emotional state. If you are a bucket that leaks, you are constantly begging others to pour water into you. That is what this behavior signals. I am empty. Please fill me with your attention. To a woman, this is anti-seductive. It kills the tension instantly. Attraction requires tension. Tension requires uncertainty. Uncertainty requires silence. When you over-deliver, you are predictable. You are the midday news. You are the weather report. You are reliable, boring, and safe. There is no danger in you. And where there is no danger, there is no thrill. The weak man fears the silence because he fears the self. He believes that if he stops performing, the audience will leave. He is a dancing monkey, clashing his cymbals together, terrified that if the music stops, he will be revealed as nothing more than a frightened animal. But the dark strategist knows better. The dark strategist knows that the music must stop, because it is only in the silence after the music that the audience holds its breath, waiting, watching, desperate for the next note. By flooding her with attention and words, you are drowning her interest. You are giving her the meal before she has even looked at the menu. You are sating her appetite for you before she has even realized she is hungry, and a full stomach has no need to hunt. You must understand that you are triggering a biological revulsion. It's not just that you are annoying, it is that you are signaling genetic inferiority. You are signaling that you are the prey, frantically chirping in the bushes, hoping not to be eaten, while the predator moves in silence. You must choose. Are you the prey, or are you the predator?
Now, let us descend into the engine room of the human mind. We must understand why silence works. This is not magic. This is neuroscience. This is evolutionary biology. At the core of all attraction, and indeed all addiction, is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Most people misunderstand dopamine. They think it is the chemical of pleasure. It is not. It is the chemical of seeking. It is the molecule of more. Dopamine is released not when you get the reward, but when you anticipate the reward. Think about gambling. When does the addict feel the rush? Is it when he wins the money? No, it is when the wheel is spinning. It is in the split second before the card is flipped. It is the uncertainty, the maybe, that drives the brain into a frenzy. When you are predictable, when you are always available, when you answer every question immediately, you remove the maybe. You flatten the dopamine curve. You are a slot machine that pays out a penny every single time the handle is pulled. Boring. No one plays that machine. But when you utilize strategic silence, you introduce intermittent reinforcement. This is the most powerful psychological conditioning tool known to man. By sometimes being warm and sometimes being silent, by sometimes answering immediately and sometimes waiting hours, you create a reward prediction error in her brain. Her brain cannot predict the pattern. It cannot settle. It goes into overdrive trying to solve the puzzle that is you. This is where the obsession begins. When you are silent, her mind must work to fill the gap. This is the Zeigarnik effect, the psychological tendency to remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. An unanswered text, an ambiguous statement, a silent gaze. These are open loops. Her brain must close them. And how does she close them? She thinks about you. She analyzes your previous words. She rereads your texts. She asks her friends what you might mean. She stalks your social media. Do you see? By doing nothing, you have become the center of her universe. You are forcing her to invest mental energy into you. And according to the sunk cost fallacy, the more energy she invests in thinking about you, the more value she must assign to you to justify that investment. I am thinking about him so much, I must really like him. Furthermore, silence triggers the projection mechanism. The human mind abhors a vacuum. If you present a blank screen, she will project a movie onto it. If she is attracted to you, she will project her ideal qualities onto your silence. If you are quiet, she doesn't think, he has nothing to say. She thinks, he is deep, He is contemplating. He is strong. He is judging me. Am I good enough for him? You flip the script. Instead of you trying to prove you are good enough for her, your silence forces her to question if she is good enough for you. This shifts the dynamic from you being the validator, the one who gives approval, to you being the judge, the one whose approval is sought. We are also tapping into the primal fear of the abyss. In the wild, silence usually meant a predator was nearby. The birds stop singing before the tiger strikes. Silence commands attention because it signals a disruption in the norm. It signals potential danger. When a man is silent, he signals that he is not bound by the social contract of politeness. He signals that he is dangerous, not physically violent, but emotionally dangerous. He signals that he does not need her. He signals that he is willing to walk away. He signals that his validation is scarce, and scarcity creates value. Diamonds are valuable because they are rare. Air is vital yet free, so no one values it until it is gone. Your attention has been like air. We must turn it into diamonds. By mastering the emotional axis of silence, you detach your self-worth from her reaction. You enter a state of non-reactivity. This is the essence of Stoicism. You are the rock in the turbulent ocean of her emotions. She crashes against you with tests, with drama, with seduction, and you remain the rock, silent, unmoved. This is intoxicating to the feminine spirit. It provides a container for her chaos. She craves the wall that does not break. Your silence is that wall.
Theory is useless without execution. You now understand the why. Here is the how. These are the protocols of the dark strategist. Warning: these are heavy psychological levers. Do not use them to be cruel. Use them to regain your sovereignty. Here are the 5 pillars of strategic silence. Protocol 1. The ghost pause, face to face. The scenario: you are on a date. She asks a tricky question, perhaps a shit test, like, "Do you do this with all the girls?" Or, "Why are you still single?" The weak response: immediate defense. No, you're special." Or, "Well, I haven't found the right person." The dark strategy: maintain intense eye contact. Do not blink excessively. Wait. Count to 3 in your head. 1, 2, 3. Smile slightly, a smirk, as if you know a secret she doesn't. Only then do you answer, or, better yet, change the subject entirely. Why it works. That 3-second silence is an eternity in social time. It breaks her rhythm. It shows you are not rattled. It subcommunicates, "Your question does not intimidate me. I am considering if you deserve an answer." It builds massive sexual tension. Protocol 2. The digital abyss. Texting latency. The scenario: she texts you. The weak response: the phone buzzes, you reply in 30 seconds. You are a golden retriever waiting by the door. The dark strategy: read the text. Put the phone away. Go live your life. Go to the gym.
Read a book. Build your empire. Reply only when you have a genuine moment of downtime. This could be 2 hours later. It could be the next morning. Crucial: do not apologize for the delay. Never say, "Sorry, I was busy." Just reply to the content. Why it works. It trains her to understand that she is not your priority. Your mission is your priority. It creates a variable reward schedule, intermittent reinforcement. It forces her to check her phone, wondering when the dopamine hit will come. You become the prize. Protocol 3. The Mona Lisa non-reaction. Stoic handling of drama. The scenario. She starts an argument. She is emotional, perhaps accusing you of something trivial or trying to provoke a reaction. "You never listen to me," or "I saw you looking at that girl." The weak response. Getting angry, yelling back. Dear. Defend, explain, excuse, rationalize. The dark strategy. Stop what you are doing. Turn your body fully towards her. Look her in the eyes with zero emotion. No anger, no fear, just the abyss. Remain completely silent while she vents. When she runs out of steam and silence hangs in the air, simply say, "Are you done?" Or, "I hear that you're upset." Then go back to what you were doing. Why it works. You refuse to feed the chaotic energy. You are a mirror. Your silence forces her to hear the absurdity of her own voice. It makes her feel childish. It forces her to calm down to meet your level if she wants to engage. It is the ultimate power move of the Stoic king. Protocol 4. The departure. Leaving on a high note. The scenario. The conversation is amazing. You are laughing. The chemistry is high. The weak response? You stay. You keep talking until the energy naturally dips and things get awkward. You milk the moment until it's dry. The dark strategy. Identify the peak of the interaction, the moment of highest laughter or connection. Check the time. Say, "I have to run, but I loved this." Leave. Why it works. You leave her wanting more. The memory of the interaction will be frozen at its peak. The peak end rule of psychology states we remember an experience by its most intense point and its end. If you end at the peak, the entire memory is golden. You leave a vacuum that she immediately wants to fill again. Protocol 5. The oracle. Ambiguous statements. The scenario. You are explaining yourself or your past. The weak response. Giving the full biography. The dark strategy. Use short, declarative sentences that imply a story without telling it. Her. What was your last relationship like? You. A lesson. And say nothing else. Her. What do you do for fun? You. I hunt demons, said with a straight face, then a smile. Why it works. It invites curiosity. It forces her to ask follow-up questions. It puts her in the position of the pursuer, trying to pry open the clamshell. You are the puzzle she must solve. Do you see the pattern? In every scenario, you are doing less. You are removing your noise to amplify your signal. You are hoarding your power, not spending it.
When you apply these protocols, the shift will be palpable. It will be terrifyingly effective. You will see her eyes change. You will see the pupil dilation, a subconscious signal of arousal and interest. You will see her body turn towards you. You will notice the texts becoming longer, more frequent, filled with questions, emojis, and attempts to get your attention. She will become the pursuer. She will step onto the hamster wheel, running faster and faster to close the gap that you have created with your silence. It is an addiction. You have become the drug. But I must leave you with a warning, a solemn truth from the depths of realpolitik. This power is not a toy. If you use this solely to manipulate, to hurt, or to feed a fragile ego, you are no better than the jester playing a trick. The ultimate goal of the dark strategist is not just to control her, but to control yourself. The true power of silence is not in what it does to her, but in what it does to you. When you can sit in the silence without anxiety, when you can receive a text and not feel the compulsion to reply, when you can witness a storm of emotion and remain the unshakable mountain, you are no longer playing a game. You have transcended the game. You have found the abyss. And in that abyss, you do not find emptiness. You find your own soul. You find the strength of a man who needs nothing outside of himself to be whole. That is the man she craves. That is the man the world respects. That is the man who is free. Silence is not the absence of words. It is the presence of power. Now, be quiet and let them come to you.